Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodo Cast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode 80, I think. Yep. I think my brain is still a little bit off since we had to redo 79. So yes, in my brain it's 81, but in reality it's 80. So welcome, everybody. My name is Evan, the Forgetful One Lewis. I am, of course, joined by Leo Andry.
The all-knowing one.
We'll just keep telling you that. Sure, why not? And Joe Latovsky.
I don't think I have a subtitle.
Maybe that is your subtitle.
The unsubtitled one.
Yes.
That's paradoxical.
It is, isn't it? It really makes you think. You know what else makes us think? All of our patrons over at patreon.com/thejodocast. They make us think a lot. They make us think long and hard about all the wonderful things that they do for us, and we always are looking for ways to say thank you to them. They are still the best people in the galaxy, and I would advise anyone who's curious about that to check out the link that we have for that over on the JodoCast, our website, at which you can find the link to the Patreon, as well as a link to our Discord server, where we hang out, and listeners hang out, and friends hang out, and we talk about all kinds of cool things all day long, and it's great. And you don't have to be a patron to get on our Discord. You can just come in and tell us why you're angry about Star Wars, or how much you like it. And while you're over at jodocast.com, you can also take a feedback survey to tell us what you love, what you hate, and what you want to see different about our show. Long story short, too late, is that we want you to help us create the future of this show, and we appreciate you now and forever. And with that, we're going to talk about what we've been playing. Joe, what you been playing?
I think it's only been Legion and the LCG. I think.
It's not a bad combo.
Yeah, I got in a game to finally get my chopper statue on the table for Legion, and then got in a couple games at LCG.
So those of us that are on the Discord server have been able to watch that chopper statue in progress, but what inspired that? Where did that even come from?
I don't know. I thought it would just be a fun piece of terrain. I'd never made terrain before, and I knew that there was these, like, they weren't Funko Pop chopper figures, but they were from Funko. They were in, like, the Smuggler's Bounty box. I bought one on eBay for, like, $5 free shipping, and I stuck it to something I cut out of the insert from the Legion core box and painted it up. Because I was, like, one of my squads in Legion is based on choppers, so I'm like, well, okay, this will just go with the theme of my Rebel Army to have this. Because since I don't play at home, I thought it'd be fun to have some terrain that I could just put on any table. It's like environment agnostic. There's not like grass or sand or anything on it. So in theory, it should work on any table I go to.
That's pretty cool.
How was your experience with the decals that you print? Because you printed those out yourself, right?
I did. Well, the propaganda posters I just printed on resume paper. But the decals, because I put some on my airspeeder and I put some graffiti on the statue. The one on the statue looks kind of weird from certain angles. It looks really good, dead on. But if you're like at a side angle, it looks all shiny. On the stone base, which is very textured. But it kind of had, I was like, some of them were cool, some of them weren't, because they came out kind of really transparent, some of them, and some of them didn't. I don't know, it was okay. I'll definitely do more in the future if I have space to put them on my figures.
And just out of my own curiosity, what decks did you play with LCG?
I made 2 decks based entirely around playing with alt-art cards. So for Dark Side, I did a bunch of Vader and Palpatine pods, and then the Grand Inquisitor pods, because I had a Grand Inquisitor altar card, and then the new Inquisitor's pods, because that just goes with it. And then for light side, I did all Jedi with Kanan and Ahsoka, because I wanted to use those altar cards. And the new Ezra and Daughter of Tanab, which I don't think I'd ever played before. I think that was a character from the RPG line, Surrenda or something. But it's just Jedi and Sith, just because I wanted to use some alt art stuff.
Cool. Leo, what you been playing?
Legion.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, there'll be video evidence of it soon.
Ooh.
One day. It's taking a long time. But that's only because I care and want to make a good final product.
Good. You're not one of those scrubs that just puts out whatever crap they poop out at a moment's notice. I'm proud of you, son.
If you didn't get the subtext, I'm editing a Legion video of Leo playing Legion.
It sounds thrilling.
It's coming along. It's really long. Legion games take forever. But I'm excited for people to watch it one day.
Well, something that I'm kind of sad that I haven't been recording is my Edge of the Empire Monday sessions, which just keep actually getting better and better. I would have thought that I would have been slowing down as GM just because I don't have time to really put a lot of love into the prep of it, but it's been coming really easy. I am using Pre-Made Adventure, but I'm able to customize it for the characters, and the PCs seem to have a really good time with it. So that's what I've been playing, and that's been a lot of fun. That's the most consecutive Star Wars RPG sessions I think I've had in forever, or of all time. So I'm happy about that. In fact, I'm so happy about it, I'll probably be getting more of the books. I had really held off for a long time on buying many more books outside of the core books, just because I'm like, well, I don't play it that much, I don't need it. But now that I am playing it more, I find myself wanting to get more of those books, especially Lords of Nalhutta would serve me well, and Dawn of Rebellion.
What about Force and Destiny books?
What about them?
Because the more I read, like, these Fantasy Flight articles where they're talking about, like, the new, like, alchemy specializations and stuff they've got in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just sounds like a cool, fun class to play. And I want to give it a try sometime, someday.
Well, maybe if we get back into the swing of our RPG, we can kill your character, and then you can make a new alchemy dude. How does that sound?
All right.
Or maybe your guy will turn to the dark side and become a Sith alchemist. It could happen. You never know. Stranger things have happened. But if that's all we've been playing, we've got a lot of news to catch up on. We've not talked in a bit. We've missed a bit of the latest releases. So we never really care about being behind in the news cycle. I think everyone pretty much knows that. We're not the breaking news people. We're just
on
the people.
On Twitter we are.
That's true. Good point. Good point on that one, Joe. You get a raise.
All right. 100%?
Oh, you better believe it.
All right. So make it
200%.
And we'll double the bonuses that you currently get, too.
Nice.
Your Christmas bonus this year will be huge. Jelly of the Month Club for you. But yeah, so we like to go over the news because we have opinions on news things that pop up. And I'm sure there has been a lot of discussion over the announcement of Boba Fett for Legion as well as the Scout Troopers. I know we had discussed this already before the official announcement was made as to how we thought either Boba or the Scouts might possibly fit into the specialist class or role, whatever it is, that we don't have anybody for yet. But as it turns out, am I correct that neither of them fit that role?
Well, no, the scout troopers are specialists.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Special forces.
Special forces, sorry, yes.
Okay.
Boba Fett, however, is a totally new rank of unit called an operative, and it's like kind of a strange thing where they are halfway between a commander and one of your regular troops. So Boba Fett has command cards like a commander does, but he can't, at least from the way it sounds in the article, he can't, you can never issue orders to any other troops. Like all his command cards only say Boba Fett on them. So I believe that, except for when you're playing his own card, you can't. I think that's the only time you'll be able to nominate him as a commander. I don't know, maybe you can use standing orders with him, but I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't real clear in the rules, or I mean in the article on how that's going to work. We'll just have to wait for the full rules on operatives to come out to know that.
It just seems like operative is now going to be the rank given to unique characters who just wouldn't be a commander. Like,
yep.
I'm sure we'll see a Chewbacca operative pack soon enough.
Oh yeah, Chewbacca's definitely going to be an operative. I think operatives would be good for a bunch of like the Phoenix Squad, Spectre characters.
Mm-hmm. Like, if they ever brought those guys into Legion, Hera and Kanan would probably be commanders, but everybody else would be more operatives.
Yeah. Hera could be a commander for sure, but
I could even see Ezra being a commander. I could see him going both ways.
I hope they release 2 versions of Ezra: buzzed head Ezra and stupid hair Ezra, or like just swappable heads, so you buy them and then you can choose which one.
Yeah, because the rest of the outfit is pretty much the same. But I mean, if they bring him to this game, I'd hope they do the season 3 and 4 version, the green lightsaber.
Yeah, but just in general, Boba Fett seems awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I kind of gotta buy it because it's Boba Fett in a game expansion, but at the same time, I'm not playing Empire, and I hadn't really planned on it.
Yeah, but that you could even buy that. You could even just buy him and use him in Imperial Assault because that sculpt is awesome. I mean, it's a really awesome detailed sculpt, and he's up on a flight stand, and there's like flames coming out of his jetpack and stuff. I think my favorite mechanic with a Boba Fett is the bounty mechanic, where at the beginning of the game you can place a victory token on one of your opponent's commanders or operatives, and then if you kill that unit, you then get the victory token, or it looks like it's sort of like claim the supplies, where you'll give the victory token to Boba Fett, and then if you still have that token at the end of the game, then that's one extra victory point for you at the end.
Unclear to me if you refers to the unit.
Yeah, like in most language, you is talking about the unit, not you, the player.
Right. Otherwise, it would probably say if that unit would be defeated, you can claim the token, rather than if you defeat that. It makes more sense, too, that it's actually Boba's got to work for that bounty.
And the hunter upgrade he comes with is definitely interesting. That when you're attacking wounded troopers, you can roll or you gain an aim token. The only thing that's not clear there is whether a trooper unit, like most of the core units have, they just have their wound threshold is 1. So you do 1 damage, boom, you pull off a mini. And in the rules, So if you've removed a mini from the unit, is the whole unit considered wounded?
I
Or
feel
because the rules make it sound like they actually have to have wound tokens
right.
on them.
That makes sense for this mechanic too, just because that'd be bonkers. Essentially, anytime he shot at any troopers, he'd get a name token. Because as soon as they're getting shot at, they're going to start losing dudes. Whereas, especially if he's kind of specialized to go after these named units, the ones who actually have more than 1 health, that's when it's probably going to... That's what it sounds like to me. It's intended to be for when he's hunting these commanders. But I'm sure we'll get clarification.
Yeah.
And his any day now they'll give a rules update. Any day now.
Yeah, and he surges on attack and defense, which is really nice. He is
for a crit.
Yeah. He is a little on the expensive side, being at 140 points, but God, when he comes out, I just feel like he's going to be totally worth it.
Well, red dice on defense, surge for defense. There's 2 blanks on a red defense die?
Yes.
And his impervious. So if people are like, aha, I got you, I'm going to hit you with a pierce weapon, he gets to roll extra dice equal to the pierce value, which basically makes pierce not that effective. So he's going to be real hard to put any damage on.
Yeah. 2 blanks, 3 blocks, and 1 surge on a red die. He's even got a gear a piece of equipment that he comes with is, or a gear upgrade is they haven't spoiled the whole card, so you can only see half of it, but it looks like it's some kind of emergency med pack or something like that that's going to remove wounds or block wounds or something like that. So you can actually heal back up. So that'll be the first time in the game you'll be able to do that. And then the scout troopers that they announced, they're cool, but not nearly as exciting as Boba Fett. I mean, they're for the most part a mere unit of the commandos, the rebel commandos that were announced.
Really cool.
Yeah, the sculpts do look really nice.
So, like the rebel commandos, they have the option of running them with like a full set of 6 minis, or just like 2.
Yeah, well, because there's 2 different. Because there's basically you can get 2 units out of the box. There's the bigger, because you have the bigger unit that starts with a base of 4, and then you can add a personnel. So that's a unit of 5, and then there's the other scout trooper unit, which has a base of 1 guy, and then you can add the heavy weapons upgrade to him.
The one thing I'm curious to see how they end up playing out are those, like, they can lay down mines or something like that, which you just put a little token down there, and I guess if people get too close, they blow up. But it's like, in real life, mines, you're not supposed to know where they are. That's how they are functional. But obviously you can't like hide them under the cloth mat you're playing on. So it's basically just area denial, where it's like, okay, I guess I just won't walk over there.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you're not intending to kill people with them. You're just saying, okay, don't walk here, please. Thanks. Which is, it's interesting. It might be really good for, just drop a bunch of mines around an objective that you're trying to hold.
Well, I mean, and it could be used to try and funnel your enemy towards, like a kill zone you've got set up or something like that. But yeah, so I mean, but just in general, for the most part, they're almost exactly the same. It looks like as the commandos. So other than the cool new sculpts, not a lot to see in that announcement.
I think that's most of the latest Legion news. I don't think there's anything else really since the last time we talked, because I know a few things have been released, but
tournament regulations.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like there's really any.
No,
I mean, about the the only really interesting things in there is we now know for sure that tournament match length is going to be 2 hours. The one interesting thing is that you will be able to build a deck of setup cards. You just basically, it looks like you're going to bring 4 of each type of card. And right now that doesn't really matter because that's just how many cards there are. There's 4 objective, 4 deployment, and 4 condition cards. But once the Vaporators come out and we start getting some new cards, then you'll be able to also build that in such a way as to kind of increase your chances at getting an advantageous setup for whatever you're going for with your army. Because I think the rules say that you'll use whoever the blue players' cards are. Point bid is actually going, and color choice is actually going to be a little bit more meaningful once those other cards come out than it is right now. And there was one line that kind of mentioned something about like you can only bring troops from your faction unless some other effect lets you do so. I mean, which, I don't know, is kind of intriguing. I mean, it could just be, they're leaving the door open for possibly bringing cross-faction stuff one way or another in the future. Whether they actually have that planned or not, I don't know. But it is in the tournament rules for what that's worth.
All right, and along with Legion, there have been a couple of new previews of X-Wing 2nd Edition. I think the only 2 we have so far are on maneuvers and actions. And it looks like there's
and they did stream that unboxing too of the conversion kits, which was
honestly the most interesting thing out of those articles and the unboxing is that the Legends characters from before will continue to be in 2nd edition, like Kyle Katarn, Jan Ors, Cornhorn, Dash Rendar. They're still in 2nd edition, which I was just very curious whether that was going to be the case or not. Maybe I'm the only one who was like, "Ooh, are they or aren't they?" Just the way licensing works. And
I think a lot of us were wondering that. I mean, I think most of us figured that there wouldn't be, since they actually have somewhat of a well to draw from now for canonical characters. Not nearly as deep a one, but I think we were kind of resigned to there not being some more old Legends folks, but I'm happily surprised that there are.
Except Dash. They shouldn't have brought Dash back.
Does he look like he'll be every bit as aggravating? I didn't get a chance to see
he has
that
the
yet.
exact same ability, so probably.
So yes.
I'm assuming some of the lesser, I'll be surprised if Lebo and Edenvril and some of those lower tier Legends characters will make the jump. If they can put Mark Matten in a YT 2400, they'll probably do that instead of Lebo. You know what I mean?
Probably. I mean, at this point, I would have put Mart in there ahead of Dash, but whatever.
I would have put anybody in there ahead of Dash.
We know.
Just a gonk droid who can't fly. You're not allowed to assign anything. You just have to pick your maneuvers randomly.
Sounds good to me.
So not much really to talk about in either maneuvers or in actions.
Not really. I feel like in our unboxing video and other stuff we talked about the actions. I don't know if we talked about how actions work on the show. But
I think we kind of talked about 2.0 last time, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. That was like
when we kind of did our world's roundup.
oh yeah, it
Yeah,
was all,
we did.
yeah.
But if
yeah.
people
There's
are,
no new information in that. Article.
okay, there, done. Well, then you better talk a lot about the recently announced national championship prizes. Of course, they've got a set for X-Wing, a set for Armada, one for Imperial Assault, and one for Destiny. But of course, nothing for LCG because we're not going to have national championship anymore. We just have North American championship, and then we can all cry for the rest of our lives.
Never mind.
So how do you think these
Just
stack up to
Photoshop
other
a
ones?
picture of the LCG box disintegrating that says FFG. I don't feel so good.
Yeah, but they wouldn't care. They'd just be like, yeah, hurry up.
Honestly, these prizes kind of, I feel like, are disappointing compared to previous ones. Not that I won the any of the other ones, but if we're looking at X-Wing, the art for the Kylo Ren card I find kind of boring. I'm assuming is it double-sided? I think it actually is double-sided. Because at Worlds, the Fenrir card they gave out was double-sided with 1.0 and 2.0 on each side, but I don't know if this Kylo Ren one is. Although
It doesn't say anything about it being double-sided.
I think on Twitter I saw they were giving out 2.0 cards, different ones, like an alternate art Slave 1 title card and stuff like that. They don't look like anything in the digital rendering, but the X-Wing tokens, I assume, will be cool because they're mirror-backed. The Imperial Assault tokens at Worlds had mirror-backed ones, and I thought they were really cool looking, so those tokens would probably be cool.
I like the Poe Dameron paint scheme or color scheme that they're doing with these new maneuver templates that they got coming out. They look really cool, I think.
Yeah, those are all right. What do we got for Armada?
They're all right.
Getting the Moff Jerjerrod alt art. That one actually looks pretty nice.
The confusing Merrick Steele alt art.
Yeah, so this brings us to one of the themes of these national prizes that has me scratching my head.
Uh-huh.
We all know, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, it's pretty great for the most part, that Fantasy Flight reuses a lot of their Star Wars art between their games. That's cool. I don't think they've ever really done that with their organized play prizes, though. Reused art between prizes. I guess the first instance I can think of is the Kanan alt art for North American Eurochamps is the same art from the Kanan alt art for the LCG. If we look at the Merrick Steele alt art for Armada, that even weirder was art they used for Baron Fell for the LCG, so not even the same character gets the same artwork.
Yeah, the Boba Fett one that's coming in Destiny. That one is art from an LCG.
The Luke one from
was that
Destiny.
That's also an LCG one. That's one of the first ones, actually.
Yeah, that Boba Fett one, they gave that one out. They gave that card out at Worlds 2016. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, this Luke one was an old LCG promo card. This Fortify plot card was the alt art used on General Riken in Armada for, I think it was World 16. This Preemptive Strike art looks new. Yeah, it's just weird. I feel like a majority of the art for these are reused. The Imperial Assault Palpatine card is reused from an alt art Palpatine in the LCG. It's like National snuck up on them and they're like, crap, we didn't commission any artists to make these cool things. Let's just reuse ones we've already done.
Yeah, the Hera...
Hopefully it's not a trend. Well, the Hera and Captain Taro double-sided plastic card is... That's just it's like an extended art. It's an extended art, not an alt art. So that's
how they just, they did the little thing. I like how they do the little thing where, Hera's gun and the top of her head pop out over the the graphical elements of the card.
Yeah.
I'm not
Somebody-
I'm not a fan of that point dial that they're giving out.
Imperial Assault point
it did-
dials always suck.
It just looks hokey to me. I don't know.
They're bad. Every point dial they've ever given out for Imperial Assault, in my opinion, sucks. And you know what, listeners? I'm going to give you one if, I don't know, I've got one to give away. I don't want it, because it sucks. It just says Imperial Assault on it from Store Championships. Just find me somewhere and be like, psst, I want that sucky dial, and I'll mail it to you. First come, first serve, I guess.
So we're not even going to have a contest for it. It's just going to be,
No.
here's a thing that I hate.
Whoever, I'm
You're welcome to
rewarding
it.
whoever listened to this first, which is not fair in any way, because people have their own schedules, but... Or should... I don't know.
Yeah. Do you guys think it's... I'm sorry. Finish what you were saying.
Just reply to... just find me and be like, I want it, and I'll mail it to you. But also, I need to... Well, if you've heard this, then I know you listen. But the dials, they're... The reason they suck is the numbers are tiny. The art is typically really cool. Like, the one they had at Worlds had that Thrawn art on it. They've done one with the Bosk art and the Jabba art from the expansion box covers. But the numbers are tiny, and it's just gravity. It's two pieces that aren't connected in any way. You set the one piece on top of the other one. And so gravity is all that's holding the top part down, so you can't, like, pick it up to look at it. You have to keep it flat on the table, otherwise you risk, messing up where the points are. It doesn't click in or anything. So you can't pick it up, and it's hard to read. It's harder to read because you can't pick it up.
Oh, we might have a winner already in chat.
One of our patrons?
One of our patrons.
There we go.
Yeah, see, this is what happens.
If you are one of our patrons, you have the distinct privilege of listening to us as we record this live, and one of our patrons has done that. And he's getting this fancy-ass dial that I think sucks. But hopefully he likes it.
He did ask for it, so...
Good.
Yeah.
You can just frame it. Just have it be like a piece on the wall. It doesn't have to be used.
It is a piece of, like, official promo swag, which is, not nothing.
You know what you could do with that?
It's a good hunk of acrylic.
How high do the numbers go?
40.
You could make that into an advent calendar, a countdown advent calendar to put on your Christmas tree.
Maybe.
So, do either of you guys think it's sort of weird that both Armada and Imperial Assault are getting these, like, unit card tray things?
Are they acrylic?
But X-Wing is not?
Well, because X-Wing already has thingies.
X-Wings are going to be outdated sooner rather than later. They're either going to give people the 2.0 ones way too early.
Yeah, or even, like, I've seen lots of people who have, like, maneuver template carrying trays where they've got a bunch of slots that you can stick your maneuver templates into so you can keep them sorted so you're not digging through, like, a pile of templates you have laying all around the table to try and find where the hell your one straight is or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think it's sort of weird that those two games get it and X-Wing doesn't.
The one for Armada looks particularly useful because it's got the room for your ship card, your command dial stack, your command dial once it's been revealed, the identification number for your ship, all of its defense tokens, and I'm blanking on what that space on the top right that looks like a clover is used for. But in any case, that's really useful because Armada units have a lot of tokens and dials and stuff that you gotta keep sorted out. Imperial Assault one isn't particularly as useful because they've essentially released this very product in, like, cardstock previously. And everyone has a bunch of those for the most part. So that's doesn't seem as useful to me besides just having a big chunk of acrylic on the table to say, hey, I won this.
It's a major award. You won it.
The National Champion Trophy for Imperial Assault is the best, though, because it's got Vinto on it, and Vinto is the coolest dude.
I'm also not a huge fan of those shield tokens that they're giving out for
Destiny?
Destiny.
Really?
I think those are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they look cool, but I hate that they're a completely different design. You know, rather than being like the Mandalorian helmet, they're this First Order Stormtrooper helmet.
It's Phasma's helmet. I assume these will also have that mirror backing.
Yeah.
Which will probably make them even cooler.
But I don't know. I guess I'm not a huge fan of having tokens that look terribly different from like the original ones. Like that's why I hate sometimes playing against guys with custom tokens, and it gets really confusing. Like one of the guys I played at Worlds, for like everything he had, for his resources, for his shields, you know, for his wounds, all that stuff, he had like 5 different kinds of tokens for all of them. It was just driving me nuts. I mean, they were all like the same basic shape and stuff like that, but he had all kinds of ones that were like different colors and different sizes, and sometimes he would screw up and throw the wrong ones on. It was just really driving me nuts. Like he was putting out like shield tokens as resource tokens and like that.
And you would have been well within your right to ask the judge to make him play with standard ones, couldn't you have?
Probably, I think so.
Probably. I mean, some of the stuff he had was a bunch of the stuff he had was like official like FFG promo stuff, though. But I don't know. It was just. And then you know, and some people play with the weird ones that have been like have had like art printed on them and stuff. Rather, and I don't know, a lot of those I don't like because I think a lot of them they're not very clear on what they are. Other than like the damage ones, which are just, you know, they say like 3 or 1 on them. It's pretty obvious what those are.
Yeah, I really don't like the Team Covenant custom tokens. A lot of people would have those for Imperial Assault, and I'm like, they don't even have the same general symbol for like some of these conditions. It's like, that's a triangle with 3 lines. How is that the same as the little yin yang thing? Like, how did they get there? That's why I endorse Recreator Studios tokens, because I really like how his tokens look like the original but cooler.
Is that their tagline? Like the original?
I don't think they have
cooler.
a tagline. He didn't talk to me. He was in our Loop and Chewy World Championships, but
And he didn't talk to you? He just sat there slapping?
I just really like his tokens. I get them from Imperial Assault. They just kind of have this almost like a Tron cyberpunk look, but essentially they're very recognizably what the original cardboard was, just spiced up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I get why people like Team Covenant do those different things, though, because I mean they're trying to avoid messing with trademarked or copyright elements of, you know, of the graphic design of their game.
Yeah, that's understandable. But you want to
but do a better job.
But it can make the game confusing, definitely. Like at least like the one guy I played against, who he had like all of his tokens, he had like the style where they were printed, you know, they'd had like printed art on it. So, and they were like totally different shapes than the regular tokens, and the symbols were completely different and everything. He set out like one of each, and he's all like, this is a damage, this is a resource, this is a this, you know, are you okay with this? And I was like, yeah, that's cool, thanks. You know, and it was nice that he showed it to me ahead of time and was like, this is what it is.
I think you are making...
And like and he at least had a consistent collection. Like I said, not like that one guy who had like 10 different styles for every single token he had.
But I think you are making the best argument, not against them per se, but against the really, really odd ones, because you need to be able to tell from across the other side of the table what that is. If it looks completely different and you have to be reminded frequently, like, this is what this token is, that slows down the game, and it puts you at a distinct disadvantage when you have to try to identify something. So
I mean, and it can vary from game to game. Like Destiny, I don't think it's quite as bad because you don't have as many tokens, and each token kind of has its own little area, where it's going to be out. Like, you're not going to have resource tokens out on your unit cards or something like that, usually. Yeah. But, like, take Legion, I wouldn't necessarily want to see the same thing starting to happen with Legion, because your units can have a lot of different kind of tokens on them. They can have suppression tokens and damage tokens, aim, dodge, standby tokens, plus, there was, what is it? I forget. There's some kind of new token in Boba Fett's,
I think it's like
kit.
Entangled or something. Whipcord. I think it's called a Whipcord token or something.
Yeah, because he's got his little, Whipcord launcher that, gives him an immobilized token. That's what it's called. Immobilized. So that's another new kind of token. And panic tokens, the orders tokens, so the objective tokens. So there can be a whole lot of tokens sitting, just kind of hanging out in the general area around your units. And like you said, I don't necessarily want to be in a situation where I'm confused by by the tokens my opponent's playing. So
right. Well, even if you have them, you also don't want to, like, every time sit down and be like, explain exactly what these tokens are. They need to be just recognizable. Some other one place I see a lot of people get stuff from, especially for X-Wing, is there's an Etsy store called Curled Paw. And those ones, I'm just looking at them right now. They definitely look, recognizable as what they are. So if you're in the market for them, you've got Team Covenant, Curled Paw, Recreator. I think I never like to look at the Litco ones, but that's litco.com and stuff.
I've got some acrylic rods coming in this week from Recreator.
Oh yeah, he carries the acrylic rods to, like, replace lightsaber blades with.
Yep.
I think Applied Perspective is another place to get some acrylic replacements. That's where I got my X-Wing maneuver templates a long time ago.
I got Team Covenant. Are they Team Covenant?
What, the templates?
Yeah.
Most of
that
Team
I got
Covenant's acrylic tokens.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that was a Team Covenant logo and stuff on there. Yeah. I've got Team Covenant maneuver templates for X-Wing, but I mean, those are a standard shape, so it's hard to make those confusing.
Yeah, most of the Team Covenant stuff seems fine. Just those Imperial Assault conditions are weird to me. Also, the Destiny tokens, I don't like either. The resource is double-sided to, like, apparently indicate, like, 1 or 3 or something, but there's literally no way to tell. And the shields are double-sided, but it's like just a shield or a shield divided into thirds, and I don't think that's probably very easy to tell apart on the table, as opposed to just, like, 3 shields. There's probably more places to get acrylic, like, token replacements that I don't know of, because there's definitely a lot out there. I think Broken Egg Games or something they're based in Phoenix. I see some of the stores here selling them. They have, I think those are some that were, like, printed underneath the acrylic, where it had, like, a Rebel pilot helmet for a shield.
It makes me glad I never bothered with it. Like, me and Chris, the guy who's in the Legion video that is going to be coming out fairly soon.
I'm going to be racing Evan to finish editing that video before he edits this podcast.
When we first started playing X-Wing, we talked about making some acrylic tokens and stuff, and we kind of started designing some and things like that. But we kind of gave up with that after a while, and I'm kind of glad, just because there's so many different ones out there that I don't feel like it's like an overly saturated market. I mean, unless you're one of those names like Team Covenant or Recreator Studios or some of those that are kind of the big names, I feel like it would be tough, but whatever. There's also the fact that I'm just kind of lazy, so that was part of it too.
But at least you're metal honest. Metal tokens are the new hotness.
Just started thinking of this since we've been talking about maneuver templates and stuff. Did you guys notice in X-Wing 2.0 the range ruler? Is it still all one piece, or can you get or do they have a 1 range and a 2 range chunk of cardboard also?
I didn't notice, and I don't know I don't think the pictures show the full box contents.
Yeah,
and I didn't see during the live stream, so I'm assuming it's still just one piece of cardboard.
Which is kind of sad, because that is one really nice thing about if you get the acrylic range rulers, is when you get the ones that are you get the range 1 and the range 2 and the range 3. So that way, if you're only trying to measure range 1, you don't have 2 more range bands out there knocking around ships and crap.
In the still photo thumbnail for the teaser trailer that came out over Worlds, it looks like it is just one long piece.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping they would maybe correct that, especially since in a lot of their acrylic sets that they give away as prizes, they do that, where they've got a 1, a 2, and a 3 length. I was sort of hoping that they would change that, and so you'd be able to get cardboard ones out of there for players who haven't picked up the any acrylic rulers. But whatevs, I guess.
Whatevs indeed. I think that about does it for discussing the National Championship prizes, unless anybody else has any other thoughts on them. I don't. I'm happy with that.
If anybody's going, I want some. I need those Imperial Assault cards. Need them real bad.
Well, me and Evan are not playing Imperial Assault.
Well, you're not going to Nationals
either. Sorry, yeah.
You're going to North American.
North American, sorry, yeah.
All right, well, I think that'll do it for this episode. And let's see here. Oh, Joe, do we need to announce any winners, or just announce the continuation of the last contest?
I will announce a winner. And it's not playing favorites or anything. He just happened to be the one who wins. It is one of our patrons, Noctis, is getting a pile of X-Wing promo cards sent his way from the contest we ran last episode.
Woohoo! Good job, Noctis. You're a winner.
You really getting Noctis out of the park.
Oh, man.
Grown.
We'll be lucky if he sticks around even to listen, much less be a patron. All right, but seriously, thank you all for continuing to stay with us and listen to us and support us and communicate with us. We always appreciate it. We appreciate you all very much. We appreciate Leo for being here. We appreciate Joe for being here. And we hope you all have a good night or morning or whatever you're listening to this. And we'll catch you next time on the next episode of the Jodo Cast.